We just hit 1,000 subs. Here's how we did it. So you may have noticed I said we hit 1,000 subs, not I hit 1,000 subs, and that's because I work with my amazing partner, Christy Page. I chose to work with her because she's awesome and she makes all this wonderful stuff happen. You don't have to work with someone to hit 1,000 subs. That's just how I like to roll. With that being said, here are the top 5 things we did to hit 1,000 subs. Number 1 is content. Now, we spoke a few weeks ago, we spoke to Damian Keys. We were just zoom in with him, Christy and I, and he was talking about 3 different types of content. And I really liked the way he put it. He said evergreen, current, and experimental. But I usually go to Christy and I say, hey, what should we be talking about? What should the videos be about? Because she's such a good person to look into this. So Christy, tell us how you come up. I guess explain to people how we come up with content.
Yeah, it's interesting because we kind of did what Damian Key said, right? We went through experimental phases in the beginning because we're still trying to catch our feet. I was like, well, music business, so let's do music business stuff. That's what you are, right? That's how we first came to it. And then it was like, how can we get better at this? And it became, well, what are people searching for, right? Like what questions are being asked and what questions can we answer? So that's like part of the evergreen world is like, you can look for information that will last for 10 years, and your video can be up forever and it will still be relevant because it's information that's always there.
Right. And that's what, just to explain to people, if you don't know what evergreen, it means like something that people are just going to be looking up for the next 10 years, 20 years, like how to tune a guitar. That's like evergreen material.
Right.
Always. Someone's going to have to know that at all times.
Yeah. And that was a cool little tip that we learned from Damian Keys. And then it was trending topics, right? Like what's happening right now that might catch a bite from some new people, but it won't be necessarily relevant even in a year, right? It might be like Justin Bieber's new song, which is
I mean, even in a month, we could talk about like the latest thing that happened to Britney Spears, her thing coming out and this whole thing going on. We could talk about it and the video will kill it for 2 weeks and then die off because no one cares anymore. But that is current. You kind of get a boost, a one-time boost.
And that can be helpful for like having ranked videos that are top in the search so that, when I'm finding Sean Hurwitz, you don't come on page 2 where people aren't going to find you, right? So that's kind of helpful with trending topics. And it can be like advertisement is what we noticed to people like, hey, we're here just in case you couldn't find us. Yeah. And then what was the other one? The other one was the experimental. And that's kind of what we did in the beginning and are still doing. That's like a forever thing. There's always an experimental.
Well, the experimental that he was talking about, he mentioned it. He did a great job explaining it. And it's something that I'm planning on doing on this channel more. I just haven't recorded it yet, but I've already coordinated with a few producers and songwriters. What he was saying is the experimental part is people want to see you do something. They don't really care about how it turns out in the end. They want to see you unbox the thing, or they want to see you invest some money in some experiment. They don't necessarily care if the results at the end were good or bad. They want to see the results, but they don't care. They want to see the process, the experiment. So I actually reached out to a few producers, friends of mine, and songwriters that are friends of mine, and said, hey, would you want to do a video with me where we kind of bounce back and forth? We do music back, like I'll start with the drums, throw it to you, you do your thing, throw it back to me, and we'll record that. It might not end up with like a very good song. It's kind of a weird way to do things, but just for the fun and the experiment, let's give it a shot.
Yeah. Yeah. It's super cool. And you don't know what it's going to do, right? It could go viral for all right? So that's the fun part of experimentation is maybe it's your worst video and nobody watches it, or maybe it's your $1 million video. So exactly. There's always that component, and that's what creativity is, right? You're just trying new things.
Okay, now the second thing you want to think about once you have the content, once you know what you're going to be recording, is the setup for it, the technical setup for it, and the settings for it. So Christy, take it away.
Yeah, so it's a cool thing. When Sean and I started, he happened to have a GoPro. So we ended up using that. And then mostly because we didn't know. We were like, should we use our phone? Should we use the GoPro? Let's just try it. The GoPro ended up being the thing we went with. And then over time, as we kept making videos, we could upgrade as we went. So now you're using a Canon, what is it?
M50.
M50. And it looks freaking great, you know? So, and I've seen people use their cell phone and totally kick ass in YouTube. So it's such a great thing. So, and then his setting was easy because he's in a dope studio. So we didn't have to do too much there. His life is dope. So that was easy. And then the lighting was just a little bit of like, okay, well, what do we have? Okay, let's turn on the lights in the room. Okay, look, you look pretty decent. And then we got a ring light. And then now we're like getting better with the ring light. Before, he was being so blinded. We were trying to find the perfect light, but it just takes experimenting and finding your way. And now we have that pretty much down. It's like our thing.
I remember I shot the first time I got the M50 was the beginning of COVID, and Christy couldn't be here in the room with me. She usually is, and she couldn't be here. And I shot 3 videos in one day. And and I thought I was doing okay with the M50. It was the first time I was shooting with it. It was like a pro camera, but of course, the settings weren't right. And she hit me back, and she was like, I don't know, it doesn't look too good. I was like, you kidding me? I just shot 3 videos like that, and we actually put them up. I'll leave a link to the one of them up here, so you could see the difference between that, where the lighting was kind of off. And I'll also leave a link to the first one we did with that GoPro, because one of the things that I miss about the GoPro, I love the M50, but one of the things that I miss about the GoPro is the field of vision. Like I need to buy a $500 lens to get the same kind of field of view with the M50. And I still haven't done that because I'm not touring and I'm trying to save money where I can. But yeah, so that's lighting. You'll see the differences in the videos.
Yeah, and it always goes back to how much value you're bringing in your content. Really, like, can they hear you? Can they see you well? And are you bringing value?
Right. And audio-wise, I think the first time we recorded it, yeah, we were using my Slate mic for the most part for like a bunch. Like the first half a year, we were using the Slate mic, and then I decided it was cool. It was like it's a vocal mic that was just right here, right under the camera, but it was a little far from me, and it would get the room. And I wanted something that's going to be more towards me. So right now, actually off right here, you're going to hear this when I do this. Christy, you're not, but they are. I actually have a, what's it called? A shotgun mic pointed at me, so it gets mostly me, whatever's coming from here. Some people use a shotgun mic from up here, and I just use it right here in front of me, and it works perfect, and it gets a very small amount of the room, and I'm very, very happy with it.
Nice. Yeah.
And that's it for lighting and audio. Setting wise, we said we have a great studio. We explored doing some stuff outside, like walking around doing vlog kind of stuff, but it was just like, the sound is going to be awful. It's just going to be the street. So we decided we're going to keep it in the studio for now.
Yeah. And you're an audio guy, so it would be kind of weird if like your sound was shitty.
Yeah. And we thought about the lav. We thought about the lav mic and all kinds of different ways. I think this works. I think at a certain point, maybe I'll get a lav mic, but for now, this works fine. Yeah. Which takes us to the third thing. So you have your content, you know where you're going to shoot it, you have the right lighting and the right camera. The camera could be your iPhone, it could be a GoPro, it could be a professional camera. Doesn't really matter, just get the stuff out there, right? But what's the next thing? We have, so the stuff's ready, you edited it in whatever software you want to use, it's ready to put on YouTube. Now, titles, that's the third one.
Titles and thumbnails.
Yes.
So titles a title is really important, and we kind of found out a little later in the game in the beginning, but I knew about it. I didn't really optimize it till probably a couple months in. So titles, you can look at it this way. You want it to be something that captures people, right? Because in the sea of YouTube, there's billions of people. What's going to give them a reason to look at yours, right? So something catchy, something that's going to grab them. You don't want to do clickbait, not fully. You want to get them, but you don't want to clickbait them about something totally random, like Justin Bieber was at my house, and then you click it, it's about audio interfaces. Like that would be stupid.
Yeah, it's not our thing. We like to keep it real.
Yeah, we like to keep it real. And plus we want people to actually watch our video. So you really, and then for SEOs, it's about keywords, right? Like what are people searching for? Are they searching for your content somewhere? That's how we found ours. And we're like, oh, someone's searching how to plug in an audio interface. Someone's searching about band contracts. Somebody is searching this. Okay, let's make a video relevant to that. And let's add those keywords in that title. So title is very important to even be seen and actually capture somebody's attention.
I'll give a little a secret about me. I have a ukulele here and a mandolin, but every time I use them, which is once every half a year to record some stuff, I have to remember what the tuning is, and I always look it up. Always. So tuning of a mandolin, something that Sean Hurwitz is always looking up whenever he's using it.
So awesome. That's awesome. So that's somebody's like gold video right now. It's like somebody wants to know how to tune this.
I should probably make one and then just watch my own when I'm doing it. So
okay, hint guys, that's our next video.
So you have the title and then thumbnail. Talk to us about that.
So thumbnails, and Sean, because we've tried to make many. And I learned this originally from Graham Stephan, if anyone knows him, the real estate guy, super rad. And he was saying that research shows people like faces, right? Like depending on what it's about. Yeah, there you go. And so that I learned that research, and it really depends on the niche that you're working in. We found for ours, people like a little bit of words and the cool face that Sean just did. And people click on it. And for other people, like I have some musician friends where it's just them and their guitar and that's all, but they're on the ocean or something and that's fitting and people click on that. So it really depends. But for ours, that's how it worked for us.
Yes.
And it works.
It's important. So you've got the material, where you're going to shoot it, and you have the technical know-how to do it. You put it up and you put the right title and the right thumbnail. The fourth part is consistency. Walk us through it.
You are the king of this, Sean. You are the king of consistency. Yeah. So going into this with Sean, I was like, listen, there's one rule and one rule only. We have to do it once a week on the same day. And that's for sure, 100% done and done. We cannot miss a day. So whatever it takes, we have to get that video up. And it's for a couple of reasons. It's for your audience, right? Because now they know that you're going to keep your promise, which is, if you're building a community, you need that. And also it's for the algorithms. They're knowing that you're showing up each week and you're involved in your YouTube channel. So it's a double thing. So it's about your community and it's about the algorithms, and you don't want to mess, because it's better to put a video up once a week than it is to put 10 in one day. Like the algorithms don't care about that.
Right.
So something to think about.
But the key word here is number 4 is consistency. And you mentioned being involved, and that brings us to number 5, which is to stay engaged, being involved with your audience. Someone watches your YouTube video, someone watches your video, and they comment. Stay on it. Reply. I'll mention this. I don't know. I'm sure you have something to say about this, but there was a song that I heard on a playlist on Spotify. Amazing song. I was so blown away. I was like, who are these artists? It's 2 chicks. Who are these artists? I want to know. And I forget their name because I went and found them on YouTube and hit them up and heard nothing. In fact, I look at all the other comments and they hadn't replied to anyone. So they, and case in point, I have no idea what they were called because they lost me, and I don't want to lose any of my subscribers. I love to be engaged. If you know me, you know how I love to be engaged with fans, with subs, how I can do things for you. What do you want? What did you hate about the video? Was my hair okay? Was Christy's hair okay? You know, so I love talking to people. So for me, that's the easiest thing. Like engaging with people that want to talk to me, I'm on it. No problem. Do you have anything to add about that? But it's very important.
Yeah, no, it's very important. I was actually just reading YouTube Secrets by Benji and Sean, because they're one of my favorite YouTube creators. And they were talking about in their book how people that engage and actually care, they end up building a loyal fan base that ends up coming with you the whole time and it sort of invests in you, right? Those are the people that care about what you're doing, and it ends up paying off in the end, right? And anyone trying to monetize their YouTube channel, right, it only takes 1,000 loyal fans that you've developed a relationship with to help your empire, you know?
So with that being said, because I love saying with that being said, let's talk about some of the bonus tips. First of all, talk a little about analytics, would you?
Analytics. When you're first starting, don't worry about them. Shut them down. Just care about your content, your engagement, your lighting. Just do your best. Analytics, think of later, at least a month into your channel. That's the first thing I would say there. Because Sean and I didn't know yet, right? We're putting out a video. We got a little bit of engagement back. We saw a flux in the beginning. Remember that? It was like, everyone was watching. And then the second video, they're like, we don't care that much. We're just happy for you. Right?
Yeah. What was I going to say? There was, at a certain point, you were talking to me about the analytics, because we were trying to figure out what people like, what people want to hear about. Do they want me to talk about Enrique? Do they want me to talk about Smash Mouth? Do they want me to see me play? Like, what do they want? And you were telling me about what you think based on the analytics. And then I was like, wait, Christy, we have like 10 videos out. How can you tell what people really want from 10 videos? You can't. So she's absolutely right. You have to give it some time. You can't put out one video and be like, who's watching me? What age group? And where in the world? It's like, give it a second. Put out 50 videos that are quality and then worry about it, you know?
Totally agree. Yeah. So, and then when you do get that, right, then you can check what is the age group, right? How many people are watching? When you put up a certain video, how well does it do compared to another video that you put up? You know, when you have enough up there, you can tell that kind of stuff, and it's fun. So even from the bigger YouTubers that we talked to, Sean, like Sanjay, right? He's like, we didn't have 1,000 at this point, and he was like, I'm jealous at where you guys are because you get to experiment and find out, like, wow, who is going to watch my stuff?
Okay, so that's the first tip. Now the second tip is about collabs, and how important it is. We had a video that we did with Sanjay C that brought in 200 subs. Took us from 700 to 900 in a week. Now, when this channel is at 100,000 and 1 million, we're going to look at that 200 and laugh. But here's the thing. Until 1,000, you're struggling, man. I mean, because Christy, the algorithm isn't really picking you up as a serious contender when you're under 1,000, right?
Well, I like the way Damian Keys actually explained it, right? He was like, you're not really even invited to the party until you get 1,000 subscribers. Yeah. Because you're like, oh, hey, welcome to YouTube. So glad you're here. And that's what it feels like in the algorithms. Like everything's just moving like a snail. And then let's see, when did we get 1,000? And then how much has it gone up since then? Which would normally be this breakthrough thing for us.
I don't know. It's a few, I don't even remember. I don't know, a week ago or something like that. But it's only been like, we've only gained like 20 or so followers. It's more about the fact that YouTube is now taking us seriously. You know, they sent me an email. They were like, hey, welcome to the club. Try and collaborate with people who are doing better than you. That's all I can really say about that. Some of them, we've hit up a bunch of people. Sanjay was one of the guys that got back to us. Bigger Creations got back to us. We're doing a thing with her. Damien, we didn't hit him up till after, but we had a really cool Zoom call, and we're going to do something in the future together, as well as with Adam Ivy. So just look for people that are in the same genre as you that could benefit from you and you could benefit from them. And I think that's like, make some interesting collaborations. That's how you can get more people to see you. Whether they sub or not is a different story. The third and last tip is ads. And I don't really have a lot to say about this. I just know that we haven't used any ads. We haven't done any YouTube ads. I think the first time I spent like $5 on an Instagram ad. The first time I put something out, that was a year ago. Other than that, everything, we decided to go organic for now, right? I mean, we might use ads at a certain point because you could see more, people will see you more. But yeah, talk a little about that. I know we haven't had the experience yet, but tell us a little, what's important to know about ads?
You know, I haven't, to be honest, I haven't fully studied abs Freudian slip, because I really want abs.
You got to start somewhere. You got to start with the abs and then you get to the ads. Okay. So,
Ads haven't been my thing per se. However, I do have a friend who recently told me it's working for her channel, and she got to 1,000 pretty fast. But what I discovered in talking to her is some of the other parts of the channel weren't quite there yet, because she just didn't know. So when she added those things, it even got better. So possibly ads could work if you have the rest of it together, as far as the tags, the description, the algorithms, like knowing what you're doing there.
The titles, the thumbnails, the audio, the lighting.
All of that stuff, your content. Because if you have all your ducks in a row and then you do ads, I think it can totally be beneficial. I know what I remember Graham Stephan talking about was he used an ad, I think in the beginning, with him and his phone. And then he wanted to see if people were going to enjoy his content or wanted it. So he did that, realized they did. And then I don't know after that. I just know that that's what he used as a tool to see if people liked it. So. And,
you know, I'm sure that we'll do some ads in the future, and we'll do a video about it, which I will put up right now after we've done it. It'll be up there. And that's it, really. So we've got those 5 things, the top 5 things that got us to 1,000. We've got your 3 tips, bonus tips. And I hope you like this. Please like, sub, comment, do your thing, and I'll catch you next week. Right, Christy?
Peace.